Transforming care through genomic medicine, personalized therapeutics, health services and outcomes research, and innovations in healthcare delivery. We're Children's Mercy Kansas City, presenting our audio interview series, Transformational Pediatrics, with host Dr. Michael Smith.
Our topic today is pediatric dialysis. What's next? My guest is Dr. Brad Warady. Dr. Warady is Division Chief of Pediatric Nephrology at Children's Mercy Kansas City and Director of Dialysis and Transplantation. Dr. Warady is a lead author of 2 authoritative textbooks, Pediatric Dialysis Case Studies and Pediatric Dialysis, and he's one of the principal investigators for the largest pediatric kidney disease study ever conducted in North America. Dr. Warady, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good morning.
So let's just start with this. What is the current state of pediatric dialysis?
Well, I think what's probably not recognized by a lot of folks is that there are children that are actually born with kidney disease or children that acquire kidney disease as they grow. And in some situations, these kids need dialysis as a bridge to transplant. And one of the things that we've done here at Children's Mercy over the years is care for some of the sickest children and some of the smallest children who require dialysis, and we're able to provide them with pretty excellent care in terms of dialysis to get them ready ultimately for a kidney transplant.
What do you see as the biggest challenges that we face, to making improvements to pediatric dialysis?
Well, I think the technical issues have been addressed, I think, fairly well over the past several decades, and we've done a lot of that work here at Children's Mercy so that we can provide true optimal dialysis to children of all ages and all sizes. I think more and more we're recognizing some of these psychosocial issues that we have to address. The fact that the children that are on dialysis don't attend school as often as their peers, have to take medications that their peers don't have to take. And so I think more and more as we hope to improve the care of these children, we have to address those psychosocial issues on the part of the children and the families themselves.
When you look, Dr. Warady, in the past, say, like 10 years, you look back a little bit, what do you think were some of the best improvements that actually happened that has brought us to a better place today? What some of the research, the approach and the early diagnosis of kidney problems, what is it, or what are those big things that you think really has made a big impact on how we take care of these kids?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I've been doing this for 35 years, and so I have seen a lot of improvements. Back when I started, it was very uncommon to provide dialysis to the smallest children, so I think one of the major improvements has been in the technology so that we have the equipment to provide optimal dialysis to even the very, very youngest child. But I think one of the other things that we've done is recognize that working together, multiple different sites around the U.S. and even internationally, working together, we can come up with answers to questions in a much more rapid manner. And so I coordinate an international registry of children on dialysis, and that registry has allowed us to, again, gain information, gain education in a more rapid manner so that we can implement changes to children much more rapidly and improve their care. And I think one of the things that we've seen in these collaborations is the important role of parents and families in the care of their children. And so 20 years ago, we really didn't sit at the table with the parents to develop a strategy for their child's care, but now that happens every day. And at Children's Mercy, I think we're at the forefront of having these regular interactions with families where there's no agenda when we sit down together. The agenda is, how can we improve the dialysis care for your child? And we work together with the families to design the best possible strategy and individualize it for that child and family.
So what do you think is the next big opportunity on the horizon in improving pediatric dialysis?
Well, one of the things that we're looking at now is enhancement of the capacity of remote information so that when a child's on dialysis at home, and many of these children receive dialysis at home, we can actually download data from that dialysis session every single morning in our dialysis unit so that we can see exactly what's going on and be able to come up with any issues that may have to be addressed in a much more rapid manner. We are working with industry at Children's Mercy is one of the few sites around the country who is gathering this kind of data so that we can see with this remote monitoring how can we better serve the children and better serve the families. And I think that partnership between the families and the healthcare providers will clearly be enhanced by utilizing this remote monitoring, and I think the outcomes will improve as well.
Yeah, and that seems to also address the issue of like the socioeconomic, issues you brought up before. The more information we have, the better you're going to be able to take care of the patient, the family, not just even during dialysis, right? Throughout the life of that child. What about research specifically, though? What are you interested in? Where would you like? What would you like to study in the near future?
Well, I think, one of the things that we're doing at Children's Mercy is we lead actually the largest study ever in North America of children with chronic kidney disease called the C-KID study. And that study, which involves 54 sites around the country, is a study that's intending to look at factors that lead to worsening of kidney disease in children. And the goal of that study is to ultimately figure out interventions that might halt the progression or slow the progression or worsening of kidney disease so that fewer kids actually have to go on dialysis. That's a very, very important research project that's been funded by the National Institutes of Health for almost 15 years, and we hope, again, in the subsequent 5 years that we can find some therapeutic point for the therapeutic interventions that may benefit the kids. And then on the other side, we want to look at transplant, and we always want to improve transplant outcome for these children. And at Children's Mercy, we're proud of the fact that we have 100% survival of the kidney transplants over the past several years. And so we're doing a great job in providing these kids transplant, and we want to do whatever we can with research to enhance the longevity of those kidney transplants in these kids so they can have a more normal life despite the need for this support of a kidney transplant.
So, Dr. Warady, in conclusion, what would you like people to know about pediatric dialysis?
Well, I think people should recognize that, like adults, children can have kidney failure. But despite the fact that they have kidney failure, thankfully we have dialysis. We have the expertise to provide these kids with very, very good care while they're on dialysis, care that allows them to grow, develop, go to school, receive their education, but that at the same time, dialysis is a bridge to transplantation. And so what we do at Children's Mercy is really care for the whole spectrum of kidney disease, from the chronic kidney disease before dialysis, provide them with optimal dialysis, and get them ready for a successful transplant. And so, again, even being born with kidney disease, you can still have a very bright future.
Dr. Warady, I want to thank you for the work that you are doing at Children's Mercy Kansas City. I also want to thank you for coming on the show today. You're listening to Transformational Pediatrics with Children's Mercy Kansas City. For more information, you can go to childrensmercy.org. That's childrensmercy.org. I'm Dr. Mike Smith. Thanks for listening.